Y'all, before we even get into it, this ain't just a podcast. This us talking to the block, to the moms, to the homies lost, to the ones fighting demons in silence, to the kings and queens that forgot their crown. We four brothers coming straight from mud, hitting the web not for clout but for purse bills. We them night brothers, speaking truth to the mic, shining through the struggle, bringing dark to the light. Block to your soul, let the message ignite. Podcast for the people, every word take flight. Gritty like the grind, hell first we strive. Social heat in the streets, trying to keep hope alive. 4 mics, 1 mission, make the people revive. It's the nighttime, tune in, feel the vibe. We 4 deep like corners on the block, mics hot in the lab, cooking truth non-stop, no gimmicks. This ain't clickbait chatter, this heartbeat, struggling soul, blacker than batter. Got fam trying to heal, broke bills on the table. Talk health, mental wealth, if we able, we enable. From the hood to the web, we built this escape. Tired of seeing kings trapped in a lowercase fake. Click clack on the keys, we ain't just pie, we preach it. Street slang, health hacks, real talk preaching. See the system rigged, trying to cage our minds, but we cracking the code like it's Columbine. I'm the brother with the blueprint, knowledge in my stash. Turn trauma to armor, pain into cash. 1 mic, 4 voices, no filters, no mask. We ain't just streaming, we building that path. We them night brothers, speaking truth to the mic, shining through the struggle, bringing dark to the light. Block to your soul, let the message ignite. Podcast for the people, every word take flight. Gritty like the grind, health first we strive. Social heat in the streets, trying to keep hope alive. 4 mics, 1 mission, make the people revive. It's the nighttime, tune in, feel the vibe.
Oh yeah, 4 mics, 1 mission. Nighttime, not nighttime.
I seen young blood.
Peace and love.
Welcome. What's going on
What's
now?
up, my brothers?
Hey man, it's
All right,
a
what's
beautiful
going on
day.
today?
Big day was Kevin.
My brothers.
Yeah, call. No, I'm
I
home.
feel
I'm doing call David.
Definitely. Everybody, if you ain't on the screen, make a mute. Peace and love. So how's everybody doing though? How was the weekend?
Oh man.
That was my next question. Everything was good. Everything was good, man. Really nice. How was y'all weekend, my brother? E, I seen you was moving and grooving as usual. You always moving and grooving.
Oh yeah, but you know, I had a kind of a little subdued too because I worked all weekend long. But that's what we have to do before school starts. So, but I still got it in. Good evening, Margaret Nick. Welcome to the show, dear. At number 1 stunner in the house.
How was the
Number
birthday?
1 stunner.
Well, welcome
Queen.
to the Nice Brother
Peace
Show.
and love.
Welcome to the
Me,
great,
me,
the best
me,
audience
place to be.
online. And as you come on board, we ask you to like, share, and to subscribe to the channel. And this is the opportunity for you to say hello so we can give you a shout out live on the air. And remember, on the Night Brothers Show, your opinion matters. So we welcome your questions. We welcome your comments. We welcome this back and forth dialogue. Now, so how you feeling this, brother? How you feeling this evening, brother?
Oh, with both hands, for real. You know what I'm
you
saying?
go.
That's how I'm doing it, baby. With both hands, cuz.
That's
What?
the best one.
Yo, no.
Mimi Lee, how you doing? Welcome to the show, dear. My girl,
Mimi Lee, what's up, Mimi? Cheryl Queen.
Girl Queen. How you doing? The Queen is
Peace and
here.
love.
The Queen is
Queen
here.
is in the building.
Queen is here. Yes, sir. Tell Keith I said what up.
Darlene
Definitely.
Collins, what's up, TC? How you doing? Welcome.
Darlene.
Peace and love. How you
DC in
feeling?
the house.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How
Who
y'all
else out
feeling?
there?
The
Let us
streets-
know when you
streets
pop
a little
on.
bit
Say
more
something. Let us know you out there. The livest audience on the internet.
All right, Lenny, let's get it popping, brother.
Man, I just want to lay in the shade, get in no shade, you know what I mean? And pontificate on life. We vibing under the city lights. Wherever the wind go take us. If it's good, we make it contagious. Said we vibing, laying on black sand beaches, thinking of what life teaches. So glad and fall from the deep end. Said we vibing under the city lights. Wherever the wind gon' take us. If it's good, we make it contagious. Said we vibing, laying on black sand beaches, thinking of what life teaches.
Yes, sir. We vibing tonight, y'all. How's everybody doing?
Even when the days feel low, Faye's gonna have that glow. Already moving where they ain't think I go. Never show your hand no fold. Keep
all right,
that
folks.
face shining. Keep
Tonight
that hope and faith and face the fire. Ain't no trace of
another
hate
hot
that you can
one.
find.
And if you take the music down for me.
Put your hand on the Bible, won't you try and say that again?
The vibe tonight is a great one. It's not Relationship Tuesday, but it's an interview with Mr. Andre Dillard, Director of Mentorship of Anne Arundel County Public Schools. And man, we got a lot to cover because this is a brother who's, which I call him a definitely a Renaissance man, because he's done so much and has covered so much. And we're going to try to touch on a little bit of just a touch of some of the things he's done tonight. So this is going to be a well-rounded interview with Mr. Andre Dillard. And I hope you're feeling the vibe when we get started in just a minute.
This Tuesday, August 26th at 8 p.m., The Knight Brothers Show welcomes a man who's breaking barriers and building futures, Mr. Andre Dillard. He's the first and only director of a mentorship program in a Maryland public school system, guiding young people to unlock their potential and lead with purpose. A mentor, a leader, a trailblazer, a martial artist, and a frat brother. Oh, did I mention? He's the kind of guest you don't want to miss. Yep, this brother is shaping lives by day and practicing throwing kicks by night. He's bringing the wisdom, brotherhood, and the fun straight to our mics. This is going to be special, so be a part of the moment. The Knight Brothers Show, August 26, 8 o'clock p.m. Don't hear about it the next day. Join us live Tuesday night, August 26th, as we welcome Andre Dillard on the Knight Brothers Show podcast. If you missed this one, you'll regret it. The Knight Brothers Show, where your opinion matters.
All right. Oh, there he is. What's
Whoa,
going on?
Welcome.
Welcome, my brother.
Let me tell you guys something.
Yes, sir.
I feel like Cedric the Entertainer or Bernie Mac being introduced by Steve Harvey and Kings of Comedy. That was amazing. Y'all say all these good things about me because that means
I like
Hey,
that,
man.
brother. I like
Man.
And you got to make it big when they big time. That's it.
Oh,
So,
man.
you know,
Tell him now.
what makes people big time is impact. Impact. And I'm going to tell you, man, you know, we just getting this started. We're going to start it off hot and heavy. This brother, to come to Maryland, he ain't even born and raised in Maryland, but to come to Maryland and have this type of impact that we're going to get into today is noteworthy. And we,
No doubt.
at the Knight Brothers Show, are known to give and bring people on to give them their flowers now while you can smell them. So, hit a bouquet start, brother. Peace and love.
There you go.
Man,
Let's get it going.
I'm so honored and humbled. I'm at a loss for words. So I appreciate you, good brothers.
Oh, man.
Well,
Welcome,
Andre,
brother.
I'm gonna give the people.
We
a
appreciate
little
you.
bit, Absolutely, Kenny. I'm gonna give the people a little bit about your professional background. It was so much information. I had to actually condense your bio. This brother's done more in a short lifetime than some people do their whole life. It's kind of what the military says. You do more before 5 a.m. than most people do all day.
Yeah.
So let me tell you a little bit about him real fast, folks. Andre is born and bred in Philadelphia. In Pittsburgh. With four brothers. I don't want to get that wrong because that's a big fight word between Philly and Pittsburgh. With four brothers and had a passion for education that runs deep. With degrees from Edinburgh University and Bowie State, Andre has spent 32 years shaping young minds across the country, from inner city classrooms in Buffalo and Cleveland to leadership roles in Maryland schools. Now, the director of mentorship for Anne Arundel County Public School Systems, he's built a role from the ground up. Wow. And has led powerful programs like Alpha Phi Alpha Academy, college fairs, youth symposiums, STEM-based experiences, and many more. Andre focuses on aim is on lifting up young men and helping them to thrive. The Knight Brothers Show team welcomes a true educator, mentor, and a builder of future. Welcome to the show, brother Andre Dillard.
Welcome,
Yes, sir.
Could you take the music down, Randy, if you could? Take the music down, please. Thank you.
Wow. You guys, if you've seen that movie, I'm gonna get you suckered, right? He had his theme music, people falling around. I'm feeling like that. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, you're definitely deserving of deserving of this, brother. So we just want to give you flowers while you can still smell them, man. So as we go into this interview, Andre, we just want you to feel comfortable, feel loose with us, man. It's just like we're sitting around in a room together to have a little chat. That's what it's all about, okay? So we're gonna chop it up, right? And we're gonna let this go.
The first segment, we're going to jump into a little background and everything like that. And here we go. You ready?
Let's go.
Right.
My man, first of all, once again, thank you for your time. Thank you for taking the time to share your incredible story. Like I said, when we talked, I read your bio, and like Lenny said, it is so long, I had to condense it a little bit. You really did a lot, brother. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But first of all, where did you grow up? And tell us a little bit about your childhood and some of the influential people in your early years, some of the lessons you learned.
So, as you know, I'm born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, right in the inner city. Oldest of four knucklehead boys, and I grew up in a part of the Pittsburgh. It's called the Hill District. And for those who are familiar with playwright August Wilson,
Yes,
from the same neighborhood where that movie Fences. That was filmed literally in my aunt's backyard, right around the corner from my aunt. In my cousin's
Wow.
The movie Denzel Washington starred in. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And my father went to high school with George Benson, who's from the Hill District as well, from Pittsburgh.
I didn't know that.
So the Hill District, predominantly African American neighborhood. It's changed over the years. And so here's the other crazy thing. You talk about life lessons. So where I grew up on my street, it was like row houses where I lived. We were the only family that had our father living with us.
Oh, wow.
Like nobody else in my entire neighborhood had a father in the household. And it always made me think like, why were we different? Like it was just kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy. And so from that, a lesson I did learn was that I wanted to try to make sure I was going to always be actively involved in my own children's life, but how could I actually be involved in other people's children as well? So that was just one of my life lessons of just trying to make sure that our young people, male and female, were going to have opportunities to be able to grow and be successful.
Wow.
Well, who were some of the influential people? Some of the people that you talked to, that you were around, that made you want to do what you're doing now?
So probably one of the biggest influences on my life was my uncle. My uncle who lives he lived across the country in Seattle, Washington. This is my mother's oldest brother, oldest sibling. But he was just so influential on us because he always made sure that we had these great educational experiences. He would literally send my mother a check so that she can take us out and do these great things, go to the museum or go to these different cultural events, go to the theater. Like he made sure that we had this exposure because, it's about gaining these experiences and that kind of broadened your horizon. So my uncle he lived in Seattle, so he never had children, but he treated us like we were his children, and he just made sure we had these great opportunities. Yeah, just a great man, really great man.
Awesome.
Wow, that is awesome, brother. Awesome, brother. On Europe
Experiences are huge. I mean, really. When you look back at it, when you're a child and you look back at those experiences, they're extremely huge. But enlighten us about your educational background and, what guided you to develop the mentorship program also. And I know this has kind of been you somewhat, but kind of describe maybe a pivotal point that made you say, look, this is really what I want to do. Maybe somebody that impacted or whatever. Definitely.
So when I think about, first of all, like I said, I grew up in the city, and my elementary school years, I went to elementary school it wasn't predominantly black, it was all black, right? There were no white students at my elementary school. Then when I matriculated to middle school, we had white students that were bused in to our school. Like the white students were bused in. Right? That's balance and diversity to our school. But it was still predominantly black. It was probably about 65 black, 35% white. And my high school was pretty much the same. So I went to Shinley High School in the city, and so it was diverse, but it was still predominantly black. So fast forward my senior year, I applied to a couple of HBCUs. One of which was FAMU, like Florida A&M. Okay. I didn't get in.
Wow,
FAMU, I didn't get in.
You missed out.
I applied to Prairie View A&M. I got in there, but I was thinking, how am I going to get to Prairie View? Texas.
That's in Texas. It's in Texas.
In Texas, yes. That's in Texas. So I was like, I know that wasn't going to work out. And so I also applied to a state school about 2 hours north of Pittsburgh called Edinboro University. And what they did is they gave me a scholarship.
Wow.
I got an academic scholarship. And I was like, oh, so you're telling me you're going to pay for me to go to school, everything? And so that's where I was going.
Yes, sir.
Academic scholarship.
Yeah. So, but the thing about that is it was culture shock, because when I got to Edinboro, it was 4% minority.
Wow! Oh my goodness!
4%.
Talk about a reversal.
Yes, it was a little culture shock. It took me a little while to kind of get used to it. But I've tried to be a chameleon for most of my life and just blend in, right? And I tried, and I did that. So I got there, and prior to going there, I had decided I wanted to major in education. I just had a phenomenal high school teacher. This lady, Miss Pamela Haywood, I will never forget her. She used to take all the high school seniors in her class, and she would rent a bus and take us out to, she had a farm outside the city where she lived, and she would take us all the seniors out there, and she would put this picnic on for us, and just like lay out the day for us, food, just a good time, hay rides around her farm, and she did this out of her own pocket. Right? Wow. And this was just a way of saying, thank you for coming to school and graduating, and I know you're going to go on and do great things. And so she did these kind of things that she didn't have to do. And it was just, and the students loved her. They absolutely loved her. So she was a really big influence. And I was like, you know what? I want to be like Miss Haywood. I want to be able to really give back. And this was a white woman, right? This was a white woman who just, she just cared about kids, right? She didn't care what color you were. She didn't care about your socioeconomic status. She just wanted us to be successful. And she put her money where her mouth was, right? And teachers weren't making a lot of money, especially back then. I mean, I was in her class from 1988 to 89, right? And so, but she just was amazing. And that really was like, I want to go and become an educator like her. I want to be a Miss Pamela Haywood and really be impactful and really have an impact on students and help them to find out who they are and be successful.
Man, that's awesome. That's
amazing.
A heck of a story too at that.
Yeah. So I get to Edinboro. Now, at Edinboro, the other thing about that is there weren't a lot of black males in education. So my education courses, there were only probably most of my education courses were probably about 2 of us. Two black males that I could count on my hand. But you got to remember, we were 4% minority students. So there weren't a lot of people in those classes that looked like me.
Well, look, as we transition, Andre, we're gonna talk about your role today. And how did your director of mentorship position come about? Now, I know you and Dr. Bodell had some history. Am I correct in that? The past history?
Yeah. So first of all, I gotta give a shout out to Dr. Bodell. You guys have had a chance to talk with him, right? So Dr. Bodell is one of these guys in the war room, right? In the business room, he's all business. He's all about business. But when you talk to him outside of that, he's just like us. He's a down to earth guy, right?
No
that
question
you can
about
have a great conversation with, right?
Nope.
So it came about, Dr. Bedell came to our school system in 2022, and he was making his visits to various schools. As a matter of fact, the first week of school, I think I was the second school he stopped by when I was principal at Georgetown East. So we were on the list. He came by, and we talked a little bit. And so after that, our paths crossed a couple of other times. He came to some of our mentoring events, right? And I usually held a lot of our mentoring events at the school. I used the school as a hub for the community. So I held, various mentoring events at the school, and I would invite him out, come out and meet the students and see them on a different level. And so he would come out, which I appreciated. So he would come out and see what we were doing, and from there, a really quick story. We had a young man that was murdered. Right, this was a former student I had, and he was murdered and so. I had reached out to Dr. Bedell. I had sent him an email and said, I would really like to talk about this young man and really talk about how can we be more proactive, because this young man was a student I call a writing on the wall student. He was one of these students that his home life was just horrible and the streets were pulling him in, right? So, and once he left the elementary school, he got to the middle school, got to the high school, and by that time the streets had really taken over, and he got caught up in the street life. So I asked Dr. Bedell, can I please have a little bit of your time so we can just talk a little bit about these writing on the wall students, and how can we put some things in place so that we don't have these kind of kids getting in jail or worse, right? So I went into his office and we were talking, and he said, you know what, I have the intervention for this. It's mentoring. Like, these were his words. And I was like, I said, you're right. Like, if we can get more mentoring going on, then we can really reach a lot more of these students. So this was probably in September, October, right? We had this conversation. Fast forward a few months down the road, probably like maybe April, early May, mid-May, he pulls me into his office and he's like, hey, I got this mentoring opportunity coming along, this mentoring director I want to bring along, and are you interested? And I was like, what? Am I interested? And he was like, look, you're going to be building it from the ground up. And, I was like, hey, man, look, say less. Where do I sign? Can I sign right now? And be fully transparent, I wasn't really looking to leave from the school. I love being a principal, right? I love my job as being a principal. But when this came about, I was like, man, this is really calling my name. And, really thinking about the fact that I could do something I was extremely passionate about, and on a larger scale with all the entire school system, and being able to build it from the ground, which means I get to put my spin on it, right? I get to implement it. And so it just was a great opportunity, and I'm just very blessed and humbled to be serving in this role. And I want to make sure that any young person within our school system that needs mentors can get one. Right? That's my goal. That's the goal of Dr. Bedell. And we want to make sure that we can get community members especially involved in this initiative, right? Dr. Bedell has allowed for people like myself who are non-school based to go out and serve as mentors during our work day. But we want to get more people from our communities to be involved as well. I got this role started in 2023 and been rolling ever since.
Oh, that's great, man.
Hey, man.
Dre, real quick, how do people do that? How can people connect with you in reference to the mentorship aspect of things?
This is the best way to do it, right? People can go to the school website, which is www.aacps.org, right? They go to the school system website, and when they go to that search bar, just type in mentoring in the search bar, and it'll take you to the mentoring website we have, which is very comprehensive. It tells them all the requirements. It tells them how the application process. It tells them the training dates. All that stuff is there. All my contact information is there. So they just need to go to www.aacps.org. Go to the website, type in mentoring in the search bar, and it'll take you right to there, and everything is right there. And here's the other great thing about this is, right, as a school system, we've tried to think about what are barriers that kept people from serving as a mentor or volunteering. And one thing has been, we ask people to give their time, right? time is a resource. Time is like money. So we're already asking you to give your time, and then we would turn around and say, but also we need you to go ahead and get this background check. It's going to cost you $63. So now, as a school system, we absorb that cost. We take on that cost. So no one has to worry about coming out of their pocket for anything. We just need you to show up and serve our students.
That's great.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. We'd like to always welcome our new viewers, Michelle Paver, a friend of mine, co-worker. Welcome. Thanks for your follow. Thanks for your support.
Thank you.
What characteristics, and I try to do this sometimes, you know, at work, but it's hard with this new generation, this new, you know where I'm going with this. So I'm gonna take it from here. What characteristics make for a great mentor, and how do you match the mentors with the mentees? Especially, it's a bit more challenging now than it's probably ever been before. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I think the first thing is you have to be selflessness, right? You gotta want to do something for someone else, knowing you might not get anything in return, right? You're going to get the praise, and we're going to thank you, but that might be about the extent of it, right? So you got to be selflessness, and to your point, you got to have some patience, right? You got to have some patience, because at times young people can try you, right? It's just I think about when I was a young person, right? Think about when you guys were young men. Like we're going to try the adults. We're going to try to see how far we can get. So you got to have some patience. You got to have a big heart, right? We want young people to be successful, right? It's not a lot. You don't have to be a scholar. You don't have to have a college degree. You don't have to have, you just got to have a big heart, and you want young people to have an opportunity to be successful. Everything else, we'll fill in the gaps. We do a training, it's about 2.5 hours. It's very comprehensive. And I do feel like when you walk away from that training, you're ready to become a mentor. And we have some ongoing things that we do throughout the course of the school year, right? So really the biggest thing is just having the heart for young people and wanting them to be successful. And knowing that our young people have so many challenges right now. There's so many challenges, and we need to put some things in place to help to balance out so they can be successful.
Yes.
Well, tell us a little bit about it. You mentioned the mentees and their training. If you can, touch on a little bit about what the mentees potentially go through before they officially become mentors.
So
your
the
trainees.
The mentees aren't doing anything but being themselves, right? So the way we get,
I meant the trainees, the training mentors. That's what I meant.
So those who go through the training, or the training itself. So the training itself is a 5-part training, and one component of it is just relationship building. That's the foundation of mentoring, is that relationship building, right?
Yes.
The second part we talk about is something called MTSS, which is multi-tiered systems of support. And what that is just a fancy terminology for how do we make sure that students get everything they need, right? Knowing that we need to differentiate what they need based on their social emotional status, right? So making sure that we meet them where they are social emotionally. And then the third piece is we do something on implicit bias. We want to make sure that everybody who steps in a mentoring space, working with our young people, you leave whatever biases you have at the door, right? We don't want you walking in there already prejudging the students because of where they come from, or because you know their mother, or you know their brother, or you know their family member, or their neighborhood. Or we want you to put that to the side, and we want you to have high expectations for all of our students. So we really talk about this implicit bias piece. The fourth piece is we do something on school safety and security, because the longer you're in our schools, the higher the percentage that you're going to be involved when we're doing one of these safety drills, or the real thing. We want to make sure everybody knows how to act accordingly in the event, right? Whether it be inclement weather or something else. And then the fifth component to this mentoring training is just focusing on mentoring. What does it take to be an effective mentor, right? Important. I see you, Miss Slade. So, very, 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 very important. And then you had also asked me a piece about how do we match the mentees up, right? So after everyone goes through the mentoring the training, I send them a survey, a mentor survey. And in that survey, it says, are you interested in being a mentee at an elementary school, a middle school, a high school? Is there a particular grade? Do you want to mentor a male or a female? Like I asked them, what is your availability? Was mornings better than afternoons? Are there any other things you want us to consider when we're pairing you? Like, is there special talents that you have? That way, I can, and so if they say, well, I want to be in Annapolis High School, every school has a mentor liaison that I've worked with and trained. And so I coordinate with that mentor liaison and we pair them with a mentee based on what they've said in that mentor survey. So we've got it down to a science, right? Where we've been able to, and we try to get them up and running within a couple weeks after they've done that training.
Okay.
That is awesome, brother. That definitely sounds like a recipe for success. Big brother.
Yes, sir. Well, Andre, we know that you're heavily involved with Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, and we want to know, how does it influence your work in the community? I see you guys doing so many things within the community. I mean, all kinds. You take on all kinds of projects, and just talk a little bit about that first of all. Let's go there first before we go to the second part of the question.
So my involvement in Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, I'm a 33 year member of the organization. So I think about the fraternity's objectives, right? And so one of those objectives is it talks about aiding the downtrodden, right? And making sure that everyone has an opportunity to grow socially, economically, and intellectually. That's one of our objectives, right? The other thing it talks about, one of our motto is, first of all, service of all, we shall transcend all, right? So think about, like, we were the first African American male fraternity founder, right? Level. And then, so that's the first of all. The servants of all, we're serving everyone. Like, we serve all communities. Wherever there's a need, we want to be able to step in and serve and meet people and help them be successful. And then we don't transcend all. People think, like, well, are you boasting when you're talking about you're overshadowing people? That's not what it is. When we say we're going to transcend all, that means that we're not going to let any obstacles come in our way, right? We're going to transcend all obstacles that come our way, because our job is too big and our people in our community need us, right? So, and then I think about just the amount, the people I have met with in the fraternity who are just doing amazing things, and people that I remember when I was thinking about, as a 19-year-old, I was thinking about fraternities. When I got to college, I learned a little more about fraternities, and thinking, like, well, where's my interest? Like, what's really drawing me in? And so I just remember this. Obviously, this was before we had the internet, right? There was no internet. You couldn't Google somebody. This was like, you had to read about people, and there were certain things that wasn't put in the library. Right? Yeah, you had to go to the library, the card catalog, the Dewey Decimal System.
Going back.
Do that Dewey thing. Do that Dewey.
That's right. So you had to do all that stuff. But I just remember reading about the great Dr. Martin Luther King, brother Martin Luther King, the great Jesse Owens, right? The great Paul Robeson, like these great alpha men. And I was like, wow. And then I start doing even more research and found out that my high school principal was a man of Alpha Phi Alpha. Didn't know it, but he just had these characteristics, right? The way he carried himself. My middle school was named after an alpha man. And I had all these mentors when I was younger that were alphas as well, that I did not know it until I joined the organization. So I try to carry that in my everyday life and think about the principles of alpha and how I can apply it to my everyday life, especially when it comes to our involvement in the community and making sure that we are always looking to help others, because I am extremely blessed and I want to make sure that I can be a blessing to others.
That's awesome.
Amen,
Listen,
brother.
I know there's a tremendous bond among the brothers in the fraternity. And could you just give us a funny story or something memorable moment that you've shared with your brothers that you can share with us here tonight?
Yeah, it's a family show now. It's a family show, so it's gotta be,
So I would say, so here's a very memorable one. So I joined the fraternity as a college, as we call a college brother, right? A college chapter. But then I transitioned into an alumni chapter, and I've been here as part of this Annapolis alumni chapter for 28 years, right? I just remember when we had our first college chapter reunion in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and getting together with all those guys. And even though some of us, we hadn't seen each other in probably 20 some years, right?
Wow.
When we got back together, it was like we didn't skip a beat. It was like you did not skip a beat. And we would just cut up and talk about old times, what have you. So, because that bond was just there. Again, after seeing people for such a long time. And then I'd be remiss if I did not talk about this one. We talked about a funny story. This is just, to me, this is just like one of the most powerful stories of our organization. So a good friend of mine, actually, he was my best friend. We became best friends in 1983, right? He unexpectedly passed away in the summer of 2020, right, during COVID. And so he passed away. He was living in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, right? At that time, as you guys remember, there was a lot of travel restrictions. And a lot of people, you couldn't even leave the state. Some people's jobs wouldn't let them leave the state. So a lot of people couldn't make it to his service, like a lot of the brothers, because he and I joined, fraternity in college, same chapter, what have you. We went to the same college, we were like this, like we were just like that. So, and when brothers pass away, we do something that's called the Omega service at their funeral, right? And so we were going to conduct an Omega service, but I knew a lot of brothers weren't going to be able to make it from our college chapter. So I reached out to the brothers in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I had never met these guys, never met them. And my friend, he had just transitioned to that part of the country. He was looking at getting active with them, but he hadn't done that yet. So I reached out to them and I told them, this is the situation, he passed away, and we really want to conduct this Omega service, but I know a lot of people aren't going to be able to make it. Do you guys think you can have just a couple brothers that might be able to show up and help me with this Omega service? And they were like, say less, we're there. So I get to the service and we get to that part. And at this point, I was very emotional. Like this was my best friend for, 30-some, like 30, almost 39 years. And so when I walk out, so we can start the ceremony, there had to be about 30 brothers there.
Wow.
And I had never met these guys, and it was like my mind was blown. Like I said, they showed up because of the bond that we shared, and I was like, I was forever. I was so I was a wreck. I was so emotional just to see these guys show up. And they had never met him. Yes.
That's that bond of the brotherhood, brother, that we just mentioned.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Well, shoot, that was a heck of a story right there. We're gonna bring it to back to professional. How do you inspire busy professionals to come and mentor? And can you share any stories of participants and just any stories of success throughout the program? And I know we talked off air of a few, so definitely share that with people, because people need to understand the impact that has on a child's life.
So first of all, would be like inspiring others. Like we always find time for the things that are important to us, right? We can always find the time for the things that are important to us. So I hope that this is important to people. They want our young people to be successful. So I just say that we try to meet you where you are. Like when it comes to serving as a mentor, I'm going to work with the mentor liaison at every school so we can find a time that's feasible for individuals that want to come into our school. And with the mentoring initiative, it's not like you have to come in and you have to do it for an hour every week. It's if you can get 25 minutes twice a month, that's sufficient. That's going to be impactful, right? If you can come during your lunchtime, if you can we try to work with them. So it is, and we know that sometimes, everybody doesn't have the flexibility of their job to be able to leave and go. But if you do have it, if you can take your lunch hour sometimes and be able to go out and mentor, we appreciate that. We would love to have you, right? If your boss is open to that, we would love to have you.
Quick question. So within that process that you just articulated, is that happening on school ground? Is that happening with supervision, I guess, to some degree at the beginning?
It happens on school property. But this is why we get everybody to get a background check, right? Because you are going to be with that young person, and you might be in a private area because your mentor-mentee relationship is one between you and the mentee, right? And you're going to be talking with them in a private space because we want that mentee to feel confident that they can share things with you, right? Whatever it might be, right? And we know that there's private space, but it is during the school day in the schoolhouse. So that way, there's no liability on the mentor, right? You're under the jurisdiction of the school. There's no liability on the mentor, right? It does happen during the school day. So
that's what I was wondering.
Yep. And then thinking about this, so thinking about how mentoring has really impacted our young people. I just, a story. I took on a mentee. And he was a senior, right? He was a senior, and this young man, just a great young man, but he had a lot going on, right? He was actually, he was a ninth grader during COVID, and we all know during that COVID time, young people were virtual, right? They were virtual, right? The first couple of years, they were virtual, and this young man fell behind in credits. His GPA wasn't that great, and he wanted to go to college, right? So working with him and working with the resources I had, we were able to grind and get him. He is now a sophomore at University of Maryland Eastern Shore. He's doing extremely well, right? So I just think, and we have a lot of stories like this, right? We have a lot of stories of mentors really filling in these gaps and helping our high school students attain their credits so they can graduate, helping them to see a future, helping them determine if they want to go to college or if they want to go to the workforce, and kind of laying out a path. We have mentors that are working with our elementary students and helping them to be able to read, right? So they're reading on grade level. We can go from learning to read to reading to learn, right? We have mentors that are working with these middle school students, that are helping them bridge those gaps and help them transition into the high school so they can be successful in the high school. So there is so many different success stories, but most importantly, it gives these young people another caring adult that they feel like they can be right involved with them, and they can go to that person with anything, and that person's going to help them and give them guidance. Right? So the success stories, and we're just talking today.
Amen.
Amen, brother.
It's a great situation there.
Amen, brother.
Appreciate that. Yes, appreciate it.
We'll talk about,
we want to pivot and because you and Brother Dillard, this is not your first acquaintance. So won't you take it from here and kind of bring people up to speed as to what I'm hitting around about?
Hey, well, me and Mr. Dillard happily ran into each other at Annapolis Martial Arts Center, which the chief instructor and director of everything there is Grandmaster Amos Johnson, and we had the immense pleasure of coming up under him. But I never really asked you this question out of all the times we've talked. What made you interested in martial arts?
So this is something I've wanted to do this as a child, but unfortunately just didn't have the resources. There were no martial arts schools where I live, right, in my community. So it was something that I just was not able to do as a young person. And so my oldest son, who is now 23, who started when he was younger, I was like, I'm going to start with him, right? And I did just that. And I locked in. And, I met Master Smith, and let me tell you, y'all call him Art, and I call him Master Smith, right? Because Master Smith is a bad man. If I had to go into a street fight, he's one of the top people I'm going to be like, I want Master Smith. That's a bad man right there. But it was something that once I started, I got hooked. And usually I'm one that, once I start something, I'm all in. And I just log in. I can see that. Stay focused. And that's exactly what I did with Taekwondo. But I just had great people around me, great instructors like Master Smith, great instructors like Grandmaster Master Johnson. And so there you go. The rest has been history. So and I'm still on my journey. I'm still trying to make it to that next level.
Definitely. So let me ask you a real quick question. When did you kind of feel like you were getting into a groove? At what belt? Did you feel like,
Oh,
oh,
man.
because it's tough. I mean, it's like it's absolutely opposite of what you generally do in your life, and what you generally would like. Somebody throwing something at you, or they coming at you, and you need to go the opposite direction and do something. It's just completely out of nature. So,
Yes.
at what point did you feel like things were setting in?
So it probably had to be around brown belt, right? Around my brown belt level. And for those who don't know, we have 3 levels to our brown belt, and so it's third, second, and first brown. So it would probably be around brown belt because, I mean, I just remember when I started, I was in class with a lot of kids, and their flexibility was 10 times better than mine, right? I'm a grown man. I'm struggling. I'm trying to stretch it out, right? So, but I think it was probably around the brown belt is when I not just started to understand the physical aspect, but just the mental aspect that comes along with it, right? Because that's a big part of it is the mental and really understanding the concept and the mindset that you have to have, and that the journey in martial arts, it's unique. It's your own personal journey, and you can't compare it to everybody else's, right? Your journey is your journey. And so once I realized that, then I was like, okay, I have an understanding now. I see it, right? And so, and then when I got my first degree black belt, I also realized that just scratching the surface, like that, you're still like entry level, just at the black belt level.
You mastered the basics, right?
Exactly.
That's what they tell you. It's like, wow, I did all of this. It's just the basics.
Exactly.
So, how about like at 4th degree? I mean, like, what things do you think from the martial arts help you in your position? I mean, it's a very high pressure position that you're dealing with. How does like some of those skill sets help you in what you do now?
Well, first thing I always think about when we talk about, as you know, Master Smith, that key breathing, right? That controlled breathing is when you're in stressful situations or you're anxious, taking those deep breaths so you can calm the mind and see things a lot more clear, right? That's something that I do on a regular basis. It's taught me that to look at things and try to slow things down so I can see them a lot more clear. So that's something I've taken into my everyday life as well. And I think just also the mindset within martial arts is like, stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? Trying to always be on top of my game, so when things come about, I'm ready for them at all times. So those are probably things I'm taking into my everyday life, my work life, my professional life, community service, right? Those are just a couple of them.
Definitely. Hey, well, also, I definitely want to thank your wife and your children for letting us have you this evening, too. So tell them I said peace and love.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
my man.
indeed.
Well, thank you. That was a great question, Master Smith. I'm going to change your name in my contact list in my phone to Master Smith.
Master Smith. That's what I'm gonna start calling him too.
Look, I've been called worse, so I'm fine. I'm fine with that.
My man, Andre, tell us, are there any other athletic endeavors that you have competed in or participated in over the years? Basketball, football?
I've tried a lot of it. I tried basketball, right? I was okay at basketball. I did swimming in high school. I got a little bit. I got a little
bounce too.
I swam a little bit, I did that. Tried football. So I've tried various sports over the years. And a lot of it just to try to stay active, right? That was been my life, so I've tried a lot of things, but I've never really, when it comes to sports, I've never put the kind of dedication I put into Taekwondo and martial arts. So that's been my biggest thing, really dedicated to that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. What's up, my brother? Big brother.
So now, at this point in your life, besides Taekwondo, are there any other things that you try to do to stay fit? Or have you tried, our show is a health-based show. And it started pouring out our practice of intermittent fasting. Have you ever delved into that at all, looked at that at all as well?
So, first part of your question, as far as staying fit, I am like a health nut, right? So I am just like, in addition to the Taekwondo, I work out 6 days a week. Right? I usually get up in the morning, like 5 a.m. in the morning. I take my dog for a walk, and I got a little gym in my basement. I'm in the gym, just cardio. I do a variety of cardio. You know, some light to medium weights. So anything that can really keep me active, you know, keep me healthy. I'm all about it. I've never tried intermittent fasting, but I will say I've been vegan for the past 7 years. So
wow, nice,
nice. Vegan. Nice. I stopped eating red meat when I was a junior in high school. So I stopped eating red meat in high school, and you know, for many years it was just chicken and fish. But then again, like I said, about 7 years ago, I just went vegan, and I haven't looked back since.
Do you find that challenging at times? Have you got kind of used to that, or do you find that challenging when you're in social settings sometimes?
Yes.
Is it connected to a challenge? Like
yes, it is.
You had a barbecue, or you had a dinner, and things of that nature. Yeah. You find it a little bit challenging. But how do you work around that? How do you work around that?
You know, first of all, you'll get what? You don't eat meat. You know, you don't what? You don't eat meat. You don't eat dairy. You don't. You know, people start questioning you, and they start, how do you get your protein? How do you eat? What do you eat? Do you eat grass? You know, so it can be challenging, right? I try to explain to people that it's a personal choice, right? And I have nothing against those who do eat meat. That's your choice. But I just let them know this is my choice. This is part of my journey. And it's not for everyone. And so most people, they understand that and they respect that. But you do have those who will be like, what? You don't eat this, you don't eat that. Yeah. So sometimes it's a shock to people. But I think nowadays, there are a lot more options for those who are vegetarians or who go dairy-free or vegan. There's a lot more options for those individuals now than there were 10, 15, 20 years ago. Right? So that does help.
Yeah, it makes it a little easier.
Yes, it makes it a lot easier.
Absolutely right. Yes. Arden, excuse me, I can't say Arden anymore. Master Smith.
Master Smith.
Master Smith converted me from on my journey, my dietary journey, and got me into, because he was always, as far as I remember, Master Smith, even when he was a little Master Smith, he's always been a vegan or a vegetarian or something. He always had some diet that was different from most others. And he kept telling me, man, you need to just leave that stuff alone. You should try it. So he converted me over the years. Being a friend over the years, you finally start listening and doing some investigating. And he converted my diet tremendously. So shout outs to him and the journey that you're on. Brother Dillard, I know what you're going through, because when I was doing it, there wasn't very many options to be a vegetarian, and then transition into vegan, and then I went on into all kinds of other things. I started juice fasting, and then I went to intermittent fasting. So I just kept going, kept going. So, but shout outs to you for that, for making those choices. A lot of sacrifice. But we want to start having a little fun now. Go to some fun questions. Go ahead, Art.
No, it's cool. I just didn't want to cut you off, but Lenny used to be Big Lenny. You know, we call him Medium Lenny now. Yeah, Lenny, what you lost, man? I know you lost over 100 pounds, 100 and something over this time, and he's kept it off. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo.
And that's the key, keeping it off. That's the key. Yeah, there you go. Keeping it off.
Lifestyle. You know, I mean, I salute, him and Q. You know, that's why they call it the Night Brothers Show, man. They lost like 5 people between them. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, bro. Come on, brother.
Hey, look, we're on the fun part of the show right now, so it's all love. So what's your all-time favorite comedian? Who is it? And
wow.
That's a tough situation. Alive or dead?
Here's what I'm gonna say. Right? If I go old school, I'm gonna go Richard Pryor. Live on the Sunset Strip. Right? I'm gonna go Richard Pryor. But also, I grew up in the age of Def Jam, and so in the Def Jam comedy, there was a couple comedians in there that might not be as well known. But one of my favorites is Arnaz J.
Oh my God! Yeah, I love that.
Arnaz J. That's my guy. He just he does it for me. I am crying laughing from Arnaz J.
Yeah. Good pull, brother. Good pull. I gotta give it to you on that one.
That's a great call. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that.
Arnaz J.
Nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that.
You saw that coming?
Not on that.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. No. That's what I'm saying, Kenny. right, check it. All right, so
No,
same
I
thing for actors
had to
and
bring him up for that
actors.
one. On there's Jay right here.
That's the uncle right there. That's the uncle right
That's my
there.
dude.
That's a funny brother right there,
Yo.
man. He never got enough love
All
for
right.
me. He should get more love.
So actors and actress. Just one.
All right, so I gotta go with the GOAT, the great Denzel Washington, right?
Got it.
That's the GOAT. And then here's my GOAT as far as actress, the beautiful Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett,
Man, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
That's it. No question.
right there.
That's the time. Without question. All right. I
Man,
appreciate
well,
it.
you hit that one out of the park.
Hey,
brother.
you
You hit that one out of the park.
Yes,
You wearing your Braves uniform, but you hit that one out of the park.
Yeah, you swinging for the fences. You swung for the
great.
fences on
Yeah.
that one.
Uh-huh.
Well, first of all, before I even ask you this question, I know you grew up in Pittsburgh, so I have to know. Are you a Steelers fan or an Eagles
Oh,
fan?
yeah.
I'm a Steelers
Steelers.
fan. I'm black and gold. I'm black and gold everything. My fraternity, my team. Listen to me. Pittsburgh is one of the few cities where all the sports teams are the same color, black and gold.
Yeah,
Every
that's
single
true.
team. Pirates,
Yep.
Penguins, Steelers. What
Yep,
other
exactly.
teams have that? Most of them have they got multiple colors for their teams. Let's show some unity, right?
My man.
Yeah.
What's the skill set? Well, you've done so much, so I don't know how much more you can do, but what's a skill set or hobby that you would love to learn and why?
So in addition to wanting to take up martial arts when I was younger, I always wanted to learn how to play an instrument. So about 8 months ago, I started taking bass lessons. So I got an electric bass and started taking lessons.
Bass.
And I'm all in, right? I'm practicing and I love it. So one day I want to be on someone's stage and someone's band performing, right? One day. It might be
Well,
5 years from now, but one day.
you need to talk to Big Brother Lenny because he
Yes, sir. We might make that happen,
We
brother.
might make that happen.
Because I
Yes, sir.
I'm going to be right there watching you too, Dre. I'm going to be right there.
I would love
checking
to
you
see
out.
that.
I need to be calling him Master Lenny. Master Lenny, because I hear he's master on that bass. So I should be
Oh,
calling him
he's a
Master
master on the bass. You know what? I'll second that. I know that brother gets busy. You know what I mean? With the bass. You know what I'm saying?
love to
Realistically, when
see
you
that.
look at bass guitar, you probably saw his picture. You just didn't know who he was. Yeah, his picture was right beside the
Right.
bass.
You 100%. I endorse that.
Wow. Yeah,
I would love to see that, brother.
I have a gig coming up in October. I'm gonna send you the song list and tell you pick a song that you want to play, and then I'm gonna just bring you up on stage and say, sitting in on bass on this one is no other than
Oh,
Thunderfingers himself, Mr. Andre Dillard.
Crowd gonna go
Thunderdums. You know what I mean?
man. Now that's pressure. I got to go practice. And when we're done, I'm about to go downstairs and practice right now.
There it is. Get it in, because I'm going to be on the dance floor. Don't hit a bad groove. Don't be, look, come on, man. I'm grooving over here.
That's funny. Yeah.
Hey, listen, before since we're talking about music, before I get into my question, I got another question for you. Now, you only have one. Who you rocking with? You rocking with Prince or you rocking with Michael Jackson? Which one you rocking with?
Well, I'm rocking with the greatest songwriter, producer, composer ever,
Purple.
Prince. I'm a Prince fan to my core. Listen to me. I went to Paisley Park last November. My wife and I went to Paisley Park.
Wow,
Had an
really?
amazing
Okay.
time. Yes.
Really? Awesome, man. Awesome. You went out to Minneapolis.
I went out to Minneapolis. And I'm going back again this November. I'm going back because I got to go more than once.
Man, that's awesome, man.
That's
I
what's
mean,
up.
he was just an incredible artist. But listen, as we shoot now, if a movie was made about your life, okay, they made the Andre Dillard story, okay, and that's possible. The way things are going, that might be possible. Who would you like to star as yourself? Who would you like to star as you?
So, I would say, I don't know. People always say I resemble Omari Hardwick. So I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with Ghost and Power. But here's who I would say. Really, I should have played would be my oldest son. I'll have my son play it. Right? He knows me like the back of his hand.
There you go.
You look like it. For sure.
There you go, brother. I like that.
I thought you was gonna say. I honestly thought you were gonna say your favorite actor.
Oh, Denzel.
I thought you were gonna Denzel. I thought you were gonna go with Denzel.
Look, I don't know if I might not be worthy of Denzel playing me. I'm not worthy of that one. That's right there.
Hey, I don't know. I'm just saying, man. I'm going for the. You know, you gonna go for the best. Go for the best.
You're right. You're right.
No question. No half steps.
Awesome.
Hey, man, I had a great time.
Last question, and we're gonna get you out of here, man. We're working you overtime. I know you gotta.
That's all good.
All of us have a favorite food that, if that was the only food left on the planet, we would be good with it because we could eat that every day, no problem. What is yours? And then also, I'm gonna throw this in, since you really staunch on your diet and you have to, dietary restrictions. What do you do for a cheat food or a dessert or something like that when you want to just come out of that mode?
So my favorite food, what I would eat every day, and I actually just had some for lunch today, is stir fry, right? Because you can make stir fry with noodles. You can make it with rice, multiple vegetables. I can put some tofu in there, so I can mix and match some stir fry, right? So I hook that up. As far as the cheat food, like, look, man, I'm a fiend for, you give me a good vegan brownie, or there's a place up in Gambrose called Cinnaholic, which is 100% vegan. It's like Cinnabons. Oh man!
Oh wow!
Amazing.
Come on, man! You gonna have me driving up that joint this week?
Yeah, that's crazy right there, Andre. That's crazy.
You definitely.
What was it called again?
Cinnaholic. It's called Cinnaholic. And actually, yes, it's up in Wall Chapel, right over there by the Green Turtle and everything they got up there. Right there.
I know that.
No, Wegmans and everything over there.
Yep. Right around the corner from Wegmans. Cinnaholic. It's all over.
Because I can hear that you went through the journey. Because when you're saying certain things, it just brings back memory of the journey that I went through when I stopped eating meat and I stopped doing it. When you got out there and you started finding different things that came out on somebody's menu, either at a restaurant or either in a store, it was a new product. Did you try the certain things? Because I know Master Smith used to tell me, "Hey, try them out, man, but find the ones that'll work for you." And he used to tell me this: not all vegetarian products are good for you, just because they're a vegetarian product. So really find the ones that are healthy and find that. So take it from there, brother.
So to your point, though, there are people, when they see vegan or vegetarian, they start thinking it's automatically must be healthier. It could be loaded with saturated. High fat or high sugar, so you do have to be mindful of that the word vegetarian and vegan can be a trap for certain people. So you have to be mindful of that and make sure they are a healthy option. But when I do run into something like I was at the airport. Well, actually, it was in San Francisco, and their airport there. No, we were coming from San Francisco. We had a layover in St. Louis, and St. Louis, the airport, they had this vegan restaurant right there at the gate. And it had all this vegan products. Man, I was like a kid in the candy store. I bought about 10 items. I was like, I'm taking all this stuff on the plane. I'm taking this home with me. I came home, I had breakfast muffins, I had cookies, I had brownies, and all this different vegan stuff that I know I can't normally find in other places unless I make it myself. So I was happy about that.
Feel like, man, I want everything. Just give me one of everything.
I wanted it all.
That's like that commercial. I'll take one of everything.
Exactly.
Super happy.
Back up on the screen. I don't know what I did. Look, man, we're gonna close this out, and thank you for definitely joining the show tonight.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, brothers. Keep doing what y'all doing. This is beautiful. This is a great thing.
Being an outstanding guest. You got any closing words? Closing words you want to tell the folks? Anything? People, please, if you please consider becoming a mentor, and if it's something that you don't feel like is in your wheelhouse, spread the word. Help us find good people because our students need it, right? Our students need it, they deserve it, and we need all of you. And you brothers, I really appreciate you. Appreciate the work you're doing. I seen some names on there. Hey, Miss Faye Gaskin, I saw her name popped on there. I saw Miss Lisa Slate.
That's Miss Lisa Slade is a powerhouse, and Miss Faye
yeah.
Gaskins. Miss Faye Gaskins is a mentor. She jumped on the mentoring bandwagon, so I appreciate her. So thank you.
Amen. Thank you, brother. And we're gonna say good night, audience, and just drop a chat in the group and just say thank you to Brother Dillard for coming on tonight.
Please do, definitely. And
Thank
look,
you for your time,
if
bro.
you know and you want a mentor, www.aacps.org. Please, we need
All
you.
right, y'all.
All right, my brother.
Amen.
We
Thank
hope
you,
to have you on
brother.
again sometime in the very near future, brother.
I appreciate that. I would love it. Thank you.
Look, you know where to find me. All you got to do is
I
come right
do.
downstairs.
Thank you, man.